Hello and welcome to McDowell House Museum's Gross Medical Things Part 2. So welcome back if you watched Part 1 and welcome if you are new. So today we're going to hear about the famous surgery that Dr. McDowell did. So if you all remember Part 1, we learned about how doctors did things like give you medicines that made you throw up, made you go to the bathroom, put leeches on you and had them suck your blood. But believe it or not, they could do surgery 200 years ago. They could do surgery in a pretty gross way. We're going to hear a lot about it. So this up here is Dr. McDowell. He is who did that famous surgery. And he did that in the year 1809. So this is him. And this is, we call it the library. It's not really gross, but I'll let you take a look here before we move on. So that could have been a study where he looked at medical books and also wrote letters to his friends and read for fun, things like that. So, all right, we're going to go upstairs. So Dr. McDowell did just about everything. He was a surgeon, but he also was a pharmacist. We saw his pharmacy last time. Up these stairs. Gonna see what's upstairs. He was also a dentist as well, we think. And he also would have been a family doctor. So that means he would have seen children, he would have delivered babies. So you could go see him for just about anything. If you broke your arm, if you had the flu. But what made him famous is a surgery. So we are on our way to the room where the famous surgery was done in 1809. We get to go down this little door right here. Isn't that cool? Look at that door. We're going to go down here. So here's this room. This is where we believe the famous surgery was done. Does this look like a surgery room to you all? Have any of y'all had surgery? Maybe you've had a friend that's had surgery. Maybe you've seen it on TV. Does this look like a surgery room to you? It's a bedroom. But back then, you could do surgery in just a normal bedroom. Can you believe that? Can you imagine having a doctor come to your bedroom and do surgery there? So let's take a look at this a little bit closer. So the surgery was done in December. Who can tell me how they would have stayed warm in December while the surgery was going on? Or just when this was being used as a normal bedroom? Can you see it? Do you see the fireplace here? There would have been a roaring fire in that fireplace. Now, how would they have seen inside the lady's body? How would they have had light in this room? We went over this in the children's room video, I think, so I won't take too long on it today. But let's see, there are 3 sources of light in this room, in this frame of the room, this picture of the room, do you all see all three? There is a fireplace. There are candles up here. You can light these. And get light that way. And then also, did you see kind of the sneaky third one? There's a window over here that was in the shot as well. All right, now a surgeon today would want way better light than this. But this is about what Dr. McDowell had to work with. They could have brought in some more candles, some more oil lamps. There are some small windows over here, but this is a pretty dark room. All right, so there's something in this frame that does not belong. Can you all tell what would not have been here in 1809 in a room like this? Do you all see? That's right, this, the electric light. There was no electricity back then. So sometime, if you're looking for something to do at home, you could count every single time you use electricity. And it's going to be a lot. Every day you use electricity a lot. But they didn't have that back then. So no electric lights. All right. So I will start telling you the story of the famous surgery. So back in 1809, there was a woman named Jane Todd Crawford. And she was getting really large in her stomach, and everyone thought that she was going to have, can you guess? What did they think? She had a really big stomach. They thought she was going to have a baby. And she kept on getting bigger and bigger. And finally, she had a lot of pain. And so they thought, now's the time for the babies to be born. So they got all excited and got all prepared for the babies to be born. And no babies. No babies were being born. She was in terrible pain, but no babies. And they asked for help from 2 different doctors, but they couldn't help her. So finally, somebody rides. They didn't have phones back then, so someone has to ride on a horse for help. And they ride to, do you remember his name? Dr. McDowell. And they ask him for his help delivering the twins. So he gets on a horse and he rides for 2 days on horseback to get to her farm. And he looks at Jane and examines her. And he had a really good medical education for back then. And he realizes just right off the bat, she's not going to have a baby. What she really has is a huge tumor. So this is a lot of just icky stuff in her body that doesn't belong there. And he has to tell her that this is going to kill her. And that the best doctors in the world said that there's nothing to be done. She's just going to die. And naturally, she didn't really like that. And so she begs him for his help. And Dr. McDowell ends up telling her that if she is willing to come to Danville, which is where he lived, and if she is willing to understand that she's probably going to die during this surgery, that he will try a surgery that nobody's ever done. Now, how would you like your doctor to tell you that? You're gonna die, but I will try a very risky surgery that no one's ever done to help you if you want to come to my hometown. Well, her name was Jane Todd Crawford. She decides that that's what she wants to do. So Jane gets on a horse with this huge tumor. She felt awful. And she gets on this horse and she rides 3 days on horseback. So imagine the sickest you've ever felt, and you have to ride for 3 days on a horse to get the surgery you need. So she made it here to this room, and a few days later, it's time to do the surgery. They would have placed her on a table, maybe in front of the fireplace right there, and they laid her out on that table. And they would have tied her down or held her down. She wanted the surgery, but they would have had to hold her down because there was no anesthesia. So today, if any of you all have had surgery, or maybe you've seen it on TV, you see that they will put the person to sleep so they don't feel anything during the surgery. Well, they couldn't do that back then. So she has to be held down so she's not moving too much. Tradition tells us that she was singing psalms from the Bible and singing hymns while this surgery was going on, because she was in terrible pain. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being awake for a surgery? Somebody cutting into your body? I told you guys this was going to be gross. So take a good look at the surgery room. I'm going to give you more details on the surgery, but I have something to show you outside. So here we go. This is the room we believe the surgery was done in. All right, we're going to go downstairs, back downstairs, and outside. Oh, you know what? I should show you a couple of medical tools before we do that. I'm sorry. This right here in the center, that's a scalpel in the center there. And that scalpel did actually belong to Dr. McDowell. So he could have used that one or one like it to cut into Jane's body when he did the surgery. So this is for a different type of surgery. This is for an amputation. So amputating is cutting off an arm or a leg. So in the center there is a bone saw. So that is used to cut through a bone. And I think we saw those maybe in the first part of this video, but for those of you who didn't see it, there it is again. Or there it is. And down here, this is a bedpan. So is that gross? That is a bathroom. So they would put it underneath somebody who's sick, let them go to the bathroom, and then you've got that handle so you can pull it back out. Yeah, there you go. All right. So when we left Jane, she had been cut open, or she was about to be cut open. She was on a table and she was waiting to be cut open. So Dr. McDowell and his helpers would have taken a scalpel like what we just saw and cut into her body. And it was a 9-inch cut. That they made into her body. So, 9 inches, and that tumor was huge. And it was too large to get out that 9-inch cut. So, they had to cut into the tumor itself, and they had to drain out about 7 pounds of fluid. It was kind of gel-like fluid. So here we go. Could have looked like this. Ew. So imagine all of that icky fluid inside her, and they took it out. And then there was more of the tumor left. So they took that out too. Ew. And that could have looked like this, except bigger. It was 15 pounds. Ugh. Yuck. So they took that out and they sewed her up, and she went on to live another 32 years. She lived to be a good old age for back then. So Dr. McDowell and his helpers took out that 22-pound tumor. Gross. And it would have been even bigger than this. Ew. All right. So, thank you all for watching. We hope you know why Dr. McDowell is famous now. First surgery of its type in the whole world. See you all later. Bye.